Human weaponry, vehicles. A story by user Tunnel Rat. Tanks? What do you mean? Tanks for what? No. They're heavily armored fighting vehicles. But they're called tanks because... Why are they called tanks, Thomas? Sergeant Garrick said in a confused-sounding voice. It was originally for secret-keeping reasons. The first tank created by the British was codenamed as a water tank carrier. This was done so the Central Powers didn't learn of the new weapon. That would be concerning. Humans have a history of espionage. Although simply using a codename was nothing special, they were using it so long ago. Thank you, Thomas. Anyway, these are heavily armored fighting vehicles, specifically the current American main battle tank, the M1B5 Abrams. Fighting vehicles are common, but something told me this was going to be a whole different level than what I'm used to. For one thing, multiple weapons were visible on the vehicle. I was only experienced with plasma mortars used for long-range barrages, which were very large and slow-moving. They needed accompanying infantry to ensure they weren't flanked. It appears to have multiple weapon systems, am I correct? Thomas looked to me. Yes, quite a few. Its main piece is a 150mm electrothermal chemical gun. Auxiliary armament includes 4 machine guns, 1 inside the turret and 3 mounted on top. The larger of the 4 is a 12.7mm HMG, and the others are 7.62mm. The turret cheeks are equipped with 8 smoke grenade launchers each. I didn't know anything about the gun, but I was confused at the last thing mentioned. I thought grenades were supposed to throw shrapnel. Grenades are built with multiple uses. Foot soldiers usually carry fragmentation. Other types include smoke, anti-tank, concussion, and thermite. We can explain the others later on if you like. We have them all here. I could infer the relative uses of each grenade mentioned, except for thermite. I would have to have them explain that to me later. So far, the tank was underwhelming. The auxiliary guns were simply sized-up versions of those I had already seen. Additionally, the main weapon is not large, much smaller than the plasma mortars. Perhaps I was misunderstanding the purpose. What is the main gun used for? It's multi-purpose, depending on what ammunition we load. The two most common being high-explosive anti-tank and armor-piercing fin-stabilized discarding sabot. How obsessed is this species with physical projectile ammunition? Their small arms might be useful, but there's no way this cannon could ever overpower its plasma counterpart. It wouldn't make sense. Can you tell me the capabilities of the main armament? Sure, keep in mind these measurements are in Earth gravity. Sabot rounds are usually fired at a velocity of roughly 2,100 meters per second. Target computer technology means they're accurate within 4 miles. That's impossible, there's no way that's true. You just physically cannot move a small, solid object that fast. Explain it to me. Well, sorry to disagree with you, but they do indeed work. Thomas gestured towards the cannon. This is an electrothermal chemical gun, or ETC gun. It uses a plasma cartridge to set off the ammunition's propellant. This ammunition is somewhat similar to the bullets you've seen. Are they serious? Not only did they discover uses for plasma, but they still decided to use kinetics? I was beginning to see a pattern. Do you have something against non-kinetic weapons? Well, a simple answer would be that what we have now is efficient. However, there has been much more research on laser weapons, but we don't use them against others. The UN has determined that they're too cruel. Laser weapons tend to not kill immediately, and plasma weapons melt clothes and armor to the wearer. Particle beam weapons cause radiation poisoning. We reserve them for anti-missile defense or non-weapon uses. That raised even more questions. Do humans have rules for war? Do humans still war with each other? Do humans have some sort of country conglomerate? Unfortunately, I'm here for the weapons they are currently using. My curiosity would have to wait. However, I didn't think I could wait any longer to see a demonstration. Can I see all of these tested? Of course, we can start with the small handheld weapons. I'll send for a tank crew to come to operate the Abrams. Sergeant Garrick walked back over to the table and picked up the rifle. He inserted a magazine into the bottom and pulled the handle on the back. He walked towards the range, then hesitated. He turned to me. How sensitive is your hearing? I hadn't thought about it. The human's ears were very flat and pressed to the side of their head, compared to mine, which were angled to allow sound in and protrude from my head. Mine must be better than theirs. I decided to just assume that was the case. My sense of hearing is somewhat more potent than yours. Why? Firearms are rather loud. It is an explosion, after all. Would one of those sets of ear protection fit you? See if one will fit and then turn the knob on the side. I looked over to where he gestured. There were a few sets of varying sizes. They had 2 padded circular pieces attached by a strap. Adjustable. Adjustable. Good. They looked a tad bit small. I picked one up and put it over my ears. A little uncomfortable, but better than going deaf. Once they were on, I turned the knob as he said, and suddenly I could hear again. Why can I hear? They amplify normal intensity sound and deafen sounds loud enough to hurt, like a gunshot. Now that was interesting. I could actually hear better than normal wearing these. Garrick walked over to the range. I'll aim for the target marked 20 yards. He aimed for a second or two, then pulled the trigger. Even with hearing protection, I could feel the shot. It was as if I had been pushed slightly, and the human didn't even move. I could smell the chemical propellant, and it slightly stung. Then I noticed he had only fired one projectile, and it had hit the target very close to the center. I was appalled. Plasma weapons were designed to shoot extremely fast to make up for their poor accuracy. This kinetic weapon had the accuracy to hit a target in one attempt. The two humans looked at me expectantly. I composed myself and looked at the other weapons on the table. Can I try? If you're new here, welcome aboard. Check out the description for the story, and join the Discord if you like. Consider supporting the channel and the author as well. It's a dangerous world out there, but remember to be brave and look up to seek the stars.